Okay, welcome class. This is an exciting day for me. We're out at Columbia Fruit, out here in the bottoms of Woodland, Washington, and this is a big deal because just like I was excited to see the patch at the Donald's farm because I'm in agritourism with my Christmas tree farm, this is exciting because my favorite crop to grow on my personal property are berries and blueberries in particular. So we're gonna come out here and learn from the pros today. We have Toby and Anna here to help answer some of our questions. We put the lesson on pruning blueberries in a separate video you can find on our channel. In this one, we will talk about the history first, then harvesting, controlling pest birds with falconry, the varieties of blueberries used, weeding, watering, and planting in mounds.
Welcome to Columbia Fruit. My name is Toby. I'm a recruiter, a trainer, and the president's assistant.
Hello guys, my name's Anna and I'm a trainer, and welcome again at Columbia Fruit.
Thanks for having us out. The first thing we'd like to know is about the history of the farm. I know as someone that grew up in this town that this used to be a dairy farm. Can you explain how this transitioned from dairy to berries and all the crops that are actually on the farm?
Okay, we will try. So this story started 40 years ago, right? So in the beginning, this property was a dairy farm, right? In 1959, they start to work like a dairy farm, and then for 1965, they start to work more hard because they bought more land, right? In that time, the owner was Jerry Peterson, right? It is Mary's father, and right now the owner is Mary and Denise Peterson, right? So they bought Jerry Peterson bought all this part, and then for 1987 Mary decided to plant the first raspberry field, and that idea was very boom. And 1993 they start to work like a little processing plant, and then in 1999 they start to work like with the name Columbia Fruit, right? So it's very quick, but it's the most important for the Columbia Fruit story.
Just to elaborate a little bit on the dairy farm, obviously the gentleman that you talked to the last time about the pumpkins, and they were a dairy farm as well. Milk prices were low, you're not making a lot of profit for a lot of hard work, and that was probably one of the main reasons why they also changed from a dairy farm to planting fruit. I'd like to introduce Claudio. He is our farm manager, and he has been the farm manager for 20 years, and so he's going to have a lot of answers in regards to the farm. So I'm going to step off.
Hello.
Hello, Claudio. Thank you. So one of the questions we have is, how many acres is this farm? I understand it's blueberries and blackberries. Approximately how many acres do we have of each?
Yeah, we have 120 acres of blueberries, and then we have 200 acres of blackberries, different varieties, but total is 200 blackberries.
How much berries are picked every year here? How many berries?
We have an average of 2 million pounds on the blackberries and 2 million pounds on blueberries each year.
What is the harvesting process? When does it start? What do you do?
Okay, we pick with the picker machine, and each machine is coming 5 people with include the driver. The harvest starts in June 20th and the end of June with the blackberries. Half of July, probably 20th of July, we have to start the blueberries. Depends the variety, but we continue picking blueberries until August. Probably in the few days from September, probably 5-10 days from September on the last variety.
Okay, so you said you have a mechanical picker. I'd never seen one of these before. Can you explain how the picker works?
Okay, the picker machine is very smooth when we're driving in the field. 0.5 miles per hour on the blackberries. As we start in that speed, very smooth, shake the bushes. The fruit is coming on both sides. We have 2 belts on the top. We have two ladies and 2 gentlemen. The gentlemen stack the flats or logs in the back on the pallets. The blackberry, we put 80 flats in each pallet, so they stack those flats in the pallet. The ladies most fix the logs or the flats, so they watch the flats so the fruit don't drop in the ground. We try to make nice, clean, everything.
So to be clear, you're actually holding flats underneath the berries as they fall into the flats, or is there something else that catches them and runs them to the flats?
No, we have something there, a base where we put the flat, and then the fruit is coming in the belt and it's dropping in the flat. We smooth so can be even in the flat, and then the gentlemen take to stack in the pallets.
Okay, we were talking about production here, and your picking machine goes down the row like you're standing in and picks on both sides, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the row behind you is about 900 feet long, you were telling me. So if your picker was to go down this row on the first picking, how much berries will you get?
Probably the average probably can be 3,500 pounds in each line.
3,500 pounds on each line.
Yeah.
So the one on your right and on your left will, so
Yes.
7,000 pounds total,
Yes.
approximately. Impressive.
We have 5 varieties, 5 different varieties. This one we call Liberty. The next we call Legacy, and then we have another field, Legacy. We have Dukes, we have Blue Crop, and we have Blue Jays.
Okay, of your 5 different varieties you talked about, and they have different tastes, does a certain type of bush produce more blueberries than another?
Yes, the Legacies have more fruit, and then I'm going to say Dukes is the second one.
Okay.
Probably. This one is the third. Blue Crop and Blue Jays is almost the same, but depends on the pruning.
Varieties, or what's the characteristics and the positive traits of the different varieties?
The main difference is the flavor. Some is more sweet, some have seeds, some is, we have one, this variety is sweet and sour, and one is more big than the other ones. One is more just sweet and water, and that's it. No taste, nothing.
Okay, what's your favorite variety?
Hard to answer, but I'm going to say this one because this one is sweet and sour, but to me the best to have on the table is Legacy.
Okay, every farm has to deal with pests. You know, when I went to the Donald farm on the pumpkins, their biggest pest was mice. When we did the video on my Christmas tree farm, aphids were the biggest pest. I understand birds are the biggest pest or problem that you have here. What do you do about birds?
We have a guy who works with the falcons or hawks. We have every year one falconer is coming to this farm to work by 9 weeks, probably, some there. The most, they bring like 10 falcons. They fly each at the time, because if they fly 2, they fight in the air, but all the time, every day, every hour, and they go every field to work with the falcons, to chase the strangers in the field.
So how many birds do they actually catch and how many just get chased away?
Depends the day. In the beginning, a lot. I don't know, 30, 50. The strangers know the falcon is here. He is the enemy for them, and he is looking for them. So in the beginning, he catch a lot. After a little bit, they know they go behind in the bushes and different fields and the trees. They go away. So depends the job of the falconer or the falcon and hawks.
You've obviously got an established row. I noticed that there's grass growing down the middle. You allow that to grow, but then there's not many weeds along the bottom of the blueberry bushes. What do you do to control the weeds?
Well, we do a lot of hoe work. We pull with hands also sometimes, some chemicals.
Okay, I noticed you've got lines up here off the ground for watering system. How exactly does this system work? What do you do with that?
Well, this one, the water is coming through the drip system, and we have a system like come every few days on when we need to put the water there in the field, so that way we can have enough water. And yeah.
So how many holes? Where all does it drip out? Is there just one hole on each plant?
No, it's every. I think it's every 8 inches or every.
Oh yeah,
8 foot.
I see that.
See, one is here, and there is the other one. I think it's 1 foot each.
So it just drips along the
Yeah,
entire row
yes.
and soaks it up.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Do you have any idea of how much water? You say about every 3 days, approximately.
Yeah, sometimes say every 1 week.
Depends on
Yeah.
how
But
hot it is.
But it's complete wet. It's too wet when it's the water there. It's by
Yeah.
12 hours, I think, dripping the water.
Okay, and so do you have any idea how many gallons approximately per plant gets dropped on there?
No.
Okay.
But it's a lot. I can tell you that it's a lot.
It's a lot. Your blueberry bushes are in rows that are up in a mound. Can you explain why we have the mounds instead of just planting it in the flat field?
Yeah, because to the bushes or the blueberries don't like to go much deep. They like to have air in the roots. So you can see the roots is very almost in the top. And then after a little while, after they start to grow a little bit, we cover with sawdust so they can have air go in and they can like to have that.
Okay. Thanks for watching today. As always, we'd love it if you like it, comment, or subscribe. You can subscribe right down here. We have more videos you might like here, and just keep following us. There's always going to be more gardening, farming, homestead projects, and just living that outdoor life.